Hi, everyone. Welcome to this restart session. Today, I am going to be talking with and asking questions of Eastland Career Center's lead intervention specialist and Fairfield Career Center's lead intervention specialist, and we'll be discussing special ed today as we prepare for the school year under extraordinary circumstances. I have said this in the last restart sessions that this is something that the district didn't necessarily want to do, to move to Plan C, 100% online learning, but it is the reality of the situation, and health and safety of students, staff, and everybody's families has to be paramount during this time. And so the district is following recommendations from various health experts and health departments. So we have some questions today for regarding special education. These are questions that have come up on social media since the announcement. This is a concern that many families have, and certainly we want to address those and reassure everybody that everything's going to be different, but it is an opportunity to innovate and try to do the best that possible for these students who maybe need some extra supports, maybe don't like online learning that much and struggle with it a little bit. So we're going to kind of talk about those things today and let these experts that are joining me today discuss those issues. So I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Huey to introduce herself, and then Mrs. Miller will, you can follow after her.
Hi, everybody. My name is Vicki Huey. I'm the lead intervention specialist over at Eastland Career Center.
Hi, I'm Ashleigh Miller. I'm the lead intervention specialist at the Fairfield Career Center.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us today. I know that you guys are going to be able to provide some insights into everything, and I think we'll just hop right into the questioning. Really, I think what most families want to know is how is Eastland Career Center and Fairfield Career Center going to provide supports to students who are on individual education plans or 504 plans? And we'll start with you, Mrs. Huey. You can take that question first, and Mrs. Miller, if you have something to add to it, feel free to jump in after her.
Sure. Yeah, and I mean, that's a legit concern with all parents, and we totally understand that. And just like we would have done in person, all of our case managers are assigned students, and they have access to IEPs. And then our guidance counselors have the access to the 504s. And so our gen ed teachers, as well as lab teachers, all have access to those documents too. And I know that they're going to be holding office hours. My intervention specialists plan to do some Zoom sessions with their caseloads to go over their IEP goals, their transition activities, and obviously if they're having any difficulty with any of the classwork. Also, communication is key, so we will be reaching out to you either via Canvas inbox, by phone, or by Remind. I know a lot of our students are used to texting, and so they can communicate in that realm as well. And I would add to that, just as we will be communicating with our students, it's key that they communicate with us as well. If they are struggling, reach out as soon as possible so we can help you to be more proactive. And I think that's all I have for that.
And I will just add, our classes here at the Career Center are co-taught, so they are with a gen ed teacher and an intervention specialist. So most of our families, their students will be in a class with 2 teachers. So they will have supports from the gen ed teacher and the intervention specialist who will be able to provide their accommodations, their specially designed instruction, and all those additional supports that they may or may not need during this time. And once we are back in the building, because we are already, that will be the case very soon.
Ms. Miller, so there are some students who just don't connect with learning in an online environment. What are some tips that you can give families to help with this?
So one major tip that I would give families is to help your son or daughter set up a routine at home, set up some type of schedule to help them manage their day. Because when they're at school, they know what time first period is going to be, second period, and things like that. So find what works. Maybe they work better if they can sleep in an extra hour and then get started with their day. But I think it's very important to have that routine. Our online learning management system is Canvas, so be proactive in going through their Canvas assignments with them and just checking on them and continuing to communicate with their child and their teachers as well.
Okay, great. And just so people know that Ms. Miller's connection kind of goes in and out a little bit. I know you're not aware of that, Ms. Miller. When you're talking, sometimes it goes in and out, but I think we got the gist of what you're saying, and I know that you're available if people have questions to follow up with that. But that was some great information. So just so as people are watching, we are aware of that connection issue. You're way out in Carroll, Ohio, so there might be maybe there's
yes.
So, Ms. Huey, do you have anything to add to that in terms of some tips?
Yeah, definitely, set up that workspace, really kind of hone in on those distractions and try to remove those distractions while working. I know to continuously check Canvas because our teachers will be posting their Zoom times, and to be cognizant of that and to have kind of your goals set for the day of what you're going to work on, and kind of stick to your schedule and make it kind of as structured as possible. However, when your child is starting to feel a little overwhelmed, take a break. It's okay. Go out, go for a walk, or just take that mental break and then come back. Don't try to force yourself to get it all done within that certain amount of time. And then again, too, if you're starting to feel overwhelmed with an assignment or anything, please, reach out immediately. Don't wait too long. And then the other thing I wanted to kind of throw out there, as I know I've also received concerns from parents about, their student not being as successful online and they work better face-to-face. We are looking at maybe pulling some small group tutoring sessions into our buildings. And so, keep a lookout. That is an option that I'm very excited that we can accommodate that, because, if we need to touch base with your student and perhaps small group or individual, and we can sit down and work, we as the teachers are in the buildings every day as well. So we're here to help in any capacity that we can.
Sure, and that's a great point to bring up. And I know that the district administration will keep trying to come up with plans to where they can accommodate small group activities or tutoring, as you say. There is a requirement that it sticks to a kind of 9-to-1 ratio, no more than 9 students in a classroom. That's the guidance that's been given. So that would probably have to be done through appointments. And certainly once that plan is developed, I know that will be communicated as well. So thanks for bringing that up. Let's start with you, Ms. Huey, to start this one. And Ms. Miller, you can jump in. And I think Ms. Miller actually talked about this a little bit in her last answer, but how are the instructors in your buildings going to ensure that students with IEPs or 504 plans are receiving the support they need during instruction?
Yeah, and like Ms. Miller did elaborate earlier, some of our students are in that co-teaching environment, so they will have both teachers. However, our intervention specialists are trained in providing strategies and interventions, and we also like to follow what's called a UDL. It's the Universal Design for Learning principles, which allows us to accommodate all various learners, and so we have instructed teachers to do more videos, reteaching, have their office hours, as well as provide just more visuals in general in how to help our students more online instead of having something more text heavy, which can be overwhelming. But you'll see that, just as face-to-face. We provide a lot of support. We'll also do that online as well. And if for any reason you feel that you are not receiving the support or your child isn't, please reach out to Ms. Miller or myself right away, again, so we can rectify and be proactive in this situation. But we're here to help, and I think we'll do well.
So, Ms. Miller, what about IEP meetings while this, I don't really want to call it a school closure, but while students are online as the school year gets started? And I want to reiterate, I've been reiterating this during these online sessions, these restart sessions, that it is the goal of the district to come back in person, or at least in a hybrid model, as soon as possible. So this is not something that they've determined is going to last all year. But what can a parent or guardian request an IEP meeting, or how will that process work?
So we started this transition in the spring. Ms. Huey and I went out, well, we didn't go anywhere, but we were at our homes and we had virtual transition meetings, which were mini IEP meetings for our incoming juniors. So the same, platform will occur during this virtual time for Plan C. We will still have IEP meetings just as we did before. This is the actual location of the IEP meetings for the Fairfield building. But parents will be contacted by their student's case manager, the intervention specialist that will write their IEP at the beginning of school year. Like this, or participate over the phone. But we will still have full IEP team meetings with scheduled dates. And if their meeting is not scheduled until a later date, they absolutely have the opportunity to schedule a meeting with their child's IEP team at any time during the school year.
Ms. Huey, are there any special resources that you would recommend or that are available to families as they navigate online learning as we get started this school year?
I know just both of our buildings will be sending out some resources for all of the parents, so I would keep a lookout for that. I hesitate to kind of throw too much out there there is a plethora of resources and it can get very overwhelming. The biggest thing I would communicate would just to look out for those newsletters coming from both directors, from Eastland and Fairfield, as well as Canvas. Canvas is going to be your best friend during this online learning. That's where teachers will be posting everything, and that is where you will click to participate in their live sessions. You can inbox and email teachers. So that would be my biggest resource that I would promote, and parents as well. You can go ahead and download that app, and it notifies you, and you're able to keep track of their grades and assignments. If you're unsure how to do that, reach out to us. There's a quick little form that we can send you, and you can begin observing their classes. So that would be the biggest thing, because I don't want to overwhelm. If there's something specific that you're looking towards, communicate with us. Just shoot us an email or give us a phone call, and we can send you some individual resources with that respect. But again, Canvas is going to be your best friend right now for online learning.
So I'm going to let both of you answer this. Ms. Miller, we'll start with you. Obviously this is a stressful time for students, especially I think when you are entering, there's two different groups here, right? I mean, you have seniors who are coming probably completely worried about this being their last year of school and how is this going to affect them moving forward. And then you have a group of students who have never, stepped foot on campus in terms of being, students, right? They're new students and they were beginning new programs this year. So what would you have to say? What do you have to say? What are your thoughts in terms of reassuring them during this challenging time, especially the students and families that you serve?
I would continue to tell them we are all in this together. You know, keep that positive attitude. The staff at both of our buildings are working very hard to make sure that this transition is very smooth for our students. There's a lot of unknown, but at the same time, there are a lot of resources and there's a lot of us to support and make sure that this transition is positive. I'm excited to meet all of our new students that are coming into our building next week and through our Zoom classes. But we can do this. I'm excited. These students get
Ms. Huey, what would you say to reassure families?
Just kind of as Ms. Miller said about how this is all new, this is new for all of us. So we're kind of all in the same boat here and we're all just going to navigate these waters as we can. The biggest thing I would just say is to be gentle with yourself. Try not to overwhelm yourself. Take breaks if need be, talk it out with someone. I found that just having conversations with students this past spring who are struggling and just kind of talking it out and letting them know that, you know, one, they're not alone, that yes, this is stressful and we'll get through this. I think that helped a lot. Just take those moments and take those deep breaths. Again, you know, please make sure that you reach out to us. We are here to provide you the best, not only in IEP services, but career tech, and stick with us, stay with us, because, you know, it will get better. You know, this isn't a forever thing. And, you know, we provide you with some great employability skills, and we just want to make sure that, you know, you kind of hang tight with us, because we'll get through this together. And, you know, it'll be a positive experience. We're going to have some up and downs, but that's just, I mean, that's just normal. But, you know, I'm excited to meet the incoming juniors, as well as to see the seniors again. And, you know, we're going to have a great year.
Absolutely. It's certainly a challenging time, but again, there's lots of opportunity that comes with situations like this. Out of every crisis, there is an opportunity, and certainly nobody wants to be in this situation, but it is a reality. And I think obviously you guys and the instructors and the administrators in both of these buildings, I know, are committed to these students and will do everything you can to make sure that they're as successful as they can be. What are some other things? Is there anything else you guys want to talk about that you want your families, as it relates to special education, to know about? Anything you can think of?
I think it's just important to continue that open communication. If if they have questions or concerns, to make sure that they reach out to their case manager, their intervention specialist, or myself or Ms. Huey, because we don't know what we don't know. So if they could just continue to communicate with us any concerns or questions, that way we may help, you know, answer those questions and reassure them with any situation.
Yeah, and just, you know, we're not going to be face to face, so it is going to look a little bit different. However, services will still be provided. And again, you know, communication is key here on both parts. We need to be able to help you, but we need to know what we can help you with. And so making sure to have your student check that Canvas inbox is key. If they do, remind to text, to call, whatever form of communication works best for the parent and for the student. You know, we're willing to do that mode of communication. We just want to make sure that it's there and we're being proactive.
So you mentioned communication. And you mentioned some of the ways that parents can and families can communicate. What are the best ways right now, before the school year gets started, if they want to reach out to you guys?
Yeah, would be email us, get in touch with us right now. We're not always in our office, but if they would like to email myself or Vicki Huey. That would be a fantastic way to ask questions and get some answers.
Okay, and I will make sure when I post this that I include your email addresses. Those are available on the Eastland-Fairfield.com website. If you just click on staff directory, they certainly can find, but I'll make sure that I include when I post this video, I'll include your email addresses.
And they can also, they can also call and leave a message. It comes through our email anyway. So if you just leave a voice message, a preferred number for us to contact you back, we can do so. It just comes through our email. So phone works as well.
And you had mentioned a Remind text group. That's going to be set up when the school year starts?
Yes, teachers have their own. And so there will be instructions on how to hook into that. I know lab teachers also have theirs. I have my own personal one too, that parents are able and students are able to tap into. I also utilized Google Voice and Google Texting quite a bit. I can't speak for all teachers. I know that that worked well for me, and I'm going to continue to do that too. So I can provide that information as well.
Wonderful. Well, I can't thank you both enough for taking your time this morning to talk about special education and to help provide some clarity and some reassurance to the many families that you guys support when the school year gets started. This is going to be different, as we've said, but really, this is just back to what it was in the spring, unfortunately. And again, I would just say this to reassure everybody that the district is committed to getting back as soon as possible. I want to reiterate that because that is something that has come up on social media. People worried about this is going to be the entire year. And certainly we mentioned it, that the district is going to try to work out plans to accommodate small groups as best that they can. And once they determine that, that will be communicated as well. So again, thanks to everybody for watching. And if you have questions for either Ms. Huey or Ms. Miller, we will post their emails and their phone numbers, and you can communicate with them before the school year gets started. So thanks everybody for joining us. Take care.